This is Unscripted Her. One family, four voices. Smart, fun, what's really going on? Finally, our discussion unscripted.
So, we are back, and this is Unscripted Her. And as you know, we are unscripted, and that simply means we don't have scripts. We have sometimes loose ideas of things we would like to talk about, but as you may have noticed, we oftentimes go astray, and that's okay.
That is okay, and we are family.
So
Absolutely.
yes, we are family. We are that
different
too.
Personalities, different ideas. We're
different
here.
eyeshadow.
So the different eyeshadow.
She said different eyeshadow.
Different outfits, different hair color. This time on Unscripted Her, what we're going to do is what I've just decided to call, we're going to be super unscripted. Meaning we're just going to throw some ideas, some topics out that have been on our individual minds, and we're going to share them across the table and with you and get feedback from each other. And maybe we'll even get some feedback from some of you. So that being said, I'm going to throw it to Donnellda. Yes. What's on your mind today? We're super unscripted. It could be anything, just anything. Just
how much you love your sister-in-law.
Give it.
Oh, yes, that was on my mind. How much I love my family, how grateful I am for them.
Yes,
I'm
amen.
blessed. I really am.
Yes.
In this time, yes. So what's on my mind is the state of the middle class in our country. And I'm not just talking about African Americans or Latinx. I'm talking about black, white, doesn't matter what color. Those people that are in that 35,000 and up group, and our policies over the last 50 years have decimated them. We've ignored those needs. We have people going back to school online. They don't have computers, and we can't manage to get computers to them in some communities till December or so. We have children who, I think the coronavirus
school setting. One of the things you may not know is that not all public schools have what they call the one-to-one, and we talked about this in one of our previous episodes about parenting during the coronavirus when we had my friend Dondra Renee, a teacher, on there. And so what's happening is the schools, every student doesn't have a laptop.
Or
for
internet.
a district that I know of, they won't be getting laptops for the elementary schools until December, but they start school in September. And so in order to get it earlier, they're like, let them know if it's a special need. But that's just an example of one school district.
And I guess the thing is, I believe America can do better. I want us to do better. I want us to believe in ourselves to try to do better. We don't have to do the worst we can possibly do. We don't have to go, you know what is the source of our health care right now? GoFundMe. We don't have to do that.
No,
we can do better, and I believe we can do better, and that's what's on my mind. That we have to have the will, and that people have got to stop snipping and squabbling and worrying about this, that, and the other, and whether your hair is shorter or your orientation is different. That is irrelevant. The country will either come together and succeed, or the country will fall apart and go down separately. It's just like Abraham Lincoln said, and I don't think we have time anymore.
We don't.
We don't have time. We have the ability to be better, and by George, I want us to be better.
Let us be better. Let us be better together.
That's what's on my mind.
What's on your mind, Ellen? Thank you, Donnellda. What's on your mind?
That was heavy.
Okay. Ellen's recovering from the last topic.
I am. It's kind of related just with the coronavirus. I've talked to a lot of people who are saying, you know what, I'm in therapy.
Mental health.
Mental health. It's
absolutely.
It's a big thing.
There's been a significant increase.
Yeah, and I've said it, and I'll say it publicly. I think it's a great idea. I think we already deal with so much as women. Studies after studies have shown that we take on the majority of sort of some of the domestic activities. Our fathers and our men, they're great, they're very active, but women are facing a disproportionate burden during this crisis. And now we are homeschooling our children. We are still working, even if from home. We've got twice the laundry, 4 times the dishes,
it's real.
And meals.
And
have to be responsible for making
the
meals
timing
throughout
now.
the day. Yes.
And it is killing us.
It is.
It really is,
toll.
and it's taking a toll on our
the
mental.
statistics are grim about.
Let's pause here for just one moment, if I may. I'm gonna circle back to Donnellda and the state of the middle class, and particularly you even narrowed down further to middle class mothers or parents, and the inequalities that might exist in this distance learning we're having to do. But we've always said that we are solutions oriented. Can you think of one thing, one tip, one idea, something maybe even so small as what a parent, him or herself, might be able to do?
Well, some parents are doing the pods where they're getting together with other parents, and they've been criticized because it's said, well, you all are affluent, and what about the rest of us? I think you don't have to have money to get together and figure out a way to work together as a community. If you have 2 or 3 people that are quarantining or whatever they need to do to give you the assurance that they will not what's the word I'm looking for? That the coronavirus won't be spread by you all coming together as a group. You need to be safe.
Absolutely.
Then you figure it out. I believe in American ingenuity. So you figure it out. Maybe you have an elderly next door neighbor. How about you take a meal over? I took something to my next door neighbor. They had they're pregnant and they had a child, and I called and I said, I'm coming over. Don't open the door. I'm just going to leave it on the porch. And people are doing that. They're figuring out ways, and I think that's right now we have to work on an individual level, and it will bubble up to a more, to a bigger level. So
I have another
go ahead.
solution.
What are you suggesting?
Oh, go ahead.
No, you. I was going to ask what's your tip and takeaway.
And this isn't even going to be that profound, but it might be really hard. But it's something that I've had to do. Give yourself a break.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Self-care, they call it these days.
You,
it has a buzzword. Everything has a buzzword.
Room
Self-care.
is not going to be clean in the house. I am a neat freak. I've had to let things go, and it has been very difficult for me. I will shut the door of a messy room because I have realized that right now that is not the priority. And I've told myself, hey, self, it's just okay.
That's absolutely right.
It's okay.
Those dishes will make it to another day.
Exactly.
And they'll be all right.
I've let dishes sit in the sink
that laundry,
overnight.
Let it sit.
What are the priorities? Are people fed? Are people healthy? Did people
Did a diaper
do their
get
homework?
changed?
Are the children
did the diaper,
clothed?
yeah,
Do
did
we
the
know where
diaper
the
get
children are?
changed? Exactly.
Yeah, do we know where the children are?
Were prayers said, and are they in bed?
So how about this?
That is it.
Give
So
yourself a break.
Give yourself a break.
To me, it has made all the difference in the world. My husband has literally said to me, wow, like, you seem so relaxed. You see, I just let it go.
You have to.
Yeah, we have to swim through the laundry to get to the kitchen. But that's okay.
What's on your mind this time around?
You know what's interesting? During the COVID, what's on my mind is doing well at work during this time because it's changed.
Absolutely.
Good point.
American ingenuity again.
It's
an opportunity
changed.
to show what we can do.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, I need to do well. I'm a pharmaceutical sales rep, and I need my sales to be up. But during COVID, it's a little bit difficult, and I would be lying to say if I don't think in the back of my mind, I hope they don't fire me. I hope I won't lose my job, and that's a terrible feeling. But my solution to that, to piggyback on what Ellen said, is to take time for me. So in the morning, I have to pour into myself, so I'm able to pour.
You are so good at that.
Yeah.
You really are.
She reminds us to just, before we start turning on our Morning Joe, you know how we do. That's right.
Being around Darlene is like being in a constant spa.
Oh,
she just is so full of positive energy. And I may have said this once before. I thought Darlene just woke up and chirped every morning. I didn't know she worked on it.
It's a practice. Like in yoga, they call it practice.
Decided that she would be cheerful.
Yes.
And
she practices it.
And then she decided everyone around her would be cheerful.
Absolutely.
And that's not to say you don't acknowledge when people are having moments and issues and whatnot. But it's an inspiration being around her.
I do see the common thread running in your takeaways or your tips or what's on your mind. I'm going to break that thread because some people may think I'm a one-note pony, but I'm oftentimes going to come back to, for me, and what's on my mind is this election and the importance of voting.
Absolutely.
And I will tell you right now, we have 72 days 3 hours, 4 minutes, 52, 51, 50, and so on seconds until this election. And what I would suggest you do, yes, indeed, vote. But in order to vote this time around, you're going to need a plan.
Yes.
There are all sorts
President
of obstacles,
Obama said.
trickery, and shenanigans afoot to interfere with your ability to execute your right, your constitutional right to vote. Don't be deterred.
Exactly.
Do not in any way allow any nonsense to interfere with your ability to vote.
Don't let nobody
so
turn you
know what
around.
your voting plan is. Let no one turn you around. Let no one interfere or stand in your way.
No,
I would
figure it out
suggest
for
and
yourself
recommend
and your
that
family
you go
and your
to
friends.
the website vote.org. It doesn't get any simpler than that. VOTE.org, where they will give you all of the tools and guidelines you will need to make your plan to vote in your community.
Vote early.
Yeah, vote early, vote often.
Definitely
say,
vote early.
But
not often,
no,
but
don't
definitely vote early.
But
and it's imperative.
But make the plan. It's important. If you're going to vote by mail, check and see what the requirements are for doing so in
Some
your
places
state.
require
is
notary.
different.
Every state is different. Some people require you to have a notarized signature. You don't want to be finding that out the day before.
No, absolutely
You
not.
need to know when to mail your you know what we
and
have to talk
have
about
a plan
We'll
and then
have
have
to
a backup plan.
We need to
And
talk about
and
voting
execute
plans.
your plan as if your life depended on it, because it does. Execute your plan as if your children's lives depend on it, as if your parents' lives depend on it, because indeed it does. I believe this is one of the most important, probably the most important election of my lifetime. And so it's not to be taken for granted.
No,
it's not to be taken
absolutely
lightly.
not.
So that is what's on my mind.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
And
That being said, we hope that we provided you with something to just think about, ponder on, and then giving you the action steps to move forward.
That's right.
Because that's our goal
And feel
here.
free to share with us what's on
Yes,
your
we want
mind.
your
we would
feedback.
We
love
love
that.
it. We love it.
We'd love to find out who's voting. We'll do that in another section.
All right.
We just
We
wanted
will.
to say,
All right,
So once
everybody.
again, we are
Unscripted Her.
Thank you. Ooh, my glasses started fogging up.